Her camera keeps
That's
fucking
not true. Okay.
camera keeps fucking up. That's kind of annoying, but I'll get over it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel, Braden Knows Best. I am Braden, and this is my guest today, Dakota McDillett, really good friend of mine. Today, we are going to talk about, we've all heard about it, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. There are mixed reviews, mixed feelings, a lot of emotions, and we're just gonna jump right in. We gonna dive into details. What are you doing?
I'm doing hand signals. I'm helping you.
Is that wow.
Special rehearsal edition. Like, see it? It's a script. So it's not even a real book.
But long story short, it's about Albus Severus dealing with the fame that his dad comes with, the growing up as Harry Potter's son, and he doesn't cope with it very well, which puts a strain on him and Harry's relationship, and thus the story begins as his son goes to Hogwarts. Anywho, so we're gonna dive into it. If you haven't read the book, go ahead.
Stop.
For a second. Collaborate and listen. Tightly.
Oh, like a heart.
Don't go anymore.
Turn off the lights and I'll go to the extreme miracle.
Go read it. Go read it and come back and discuss with us. 3 categories. First category. Questions.
Preguntas.
You want to start with preguntas?
We have a list of questions. We made a little checklist here. What was your question about the Polyjuice potion?
Okay. I don't know if you remember this because I actually had to go back and read it again, but Polyjuice potions takes like months to brew. So when Hermione, Ron, and Harry go undercover, like in the whole they go as like Crabbe and Goyle, they spent months making that potion.
Well, you also have to take into consideration they were second years when they did that.
No, it's a rule. It's like it's written in the book. Like it's like a process. They
Her-
emphasize at the end again, like when they're trying to transform into Voldemort to like stop Delphi, they say like, oh, maybe Bathilda Bagshot has these ingredients in her house for Polyjuice potion. Someone was like, it'll take too long. It takes forever to make that potion. Like we don't have time for that. We've got to do something else. And so Harry transfigures into Voldemort, which is another question of mine.
Okay,
if you're ready to move on.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Transfiguration is extremely hard, and I know Harry's a grown-up now and he is, a lot better of a wizard than he was, but to turn into the Dark Lord seems like it would be a big deal, and they kind of just like, oh, easy, let's just, I don't know. It just really bothered me.
That boils down to, it's not JK, it's not Joanne herself writing this. This is somebody else's interpretation of how they thought this could continue. And I think that's one reason why there are a lot of people that are upset with this book.
I would have been way more happy if JK would have just posted the story like a short synopsis on Pottermore.
Oh yeah, this one. Ooh. Harry's saying he wishes Albus was not his son.
He would never say that. I don't even think JK wrote that. Like, I cannot wrap my head around. There's no way.
No, absolutely not.
And the way it was said was so childish.
It was. Now, like, I'm gonna be a dad. I will never say that about my son.
Oh, you wish you weren't my son? Well, I wish you weren't my son. Like, that's like...
Rose being a little shit.
I literally wrote that down. I hate her. I understand that she's Hermione's daughter, and Hermione in the book was way more annoying
Very
than Hermione
obnoxious.
in the movies, but like we've already established this idea of who, you know what I mean?
Albus being a little bitch and not having interest or talent in anything. Yeah, he's a really untalented, ungrateful little piece of shit.
Or, I don't know.
That's the way
like,
it's written, and I know that whenever I had to read the script, they really don't give you much.
No character development, nothing interesting. He's not talented at anything. He doesn't want to play Quidditch. He doesn't want to like do anything.
Okay, book scene in Hermione's office, the bookshelf. Yeah, that was weird.
I think it'll be cool to see on stage. I will say that because
I want to see how they pull that off.
Right. But I don't feel like Hermione Granger, one of the brightest witches, would hide something like that so important. Like the only time turner in existence is hidden in a book in her office. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's pretty genius though. Like,
no, 3 little kids went in with no like.
But look who these people are. One is a Malfoy.
Okay.
And the other is a Potter. Like, you know how lucky Harry was? Look at how lucky
Harry was the chosen one, so that makes sense. with something that valuable, I don't think she would make it that easy.
Well, she's not gonna put it in Gringotts.
Yeah, but
because they were able to steal Horcruxes out of
know.
Gringotts, even though
I feel like it would have been more
Hagrid-
sophisticated, like Dumbledore, like the security he set up on Sirius's house to where only Harry could get in.
Yeah.
Like something more sophisticated like that.
Yeah.
I just don't think it would be easy enough
Hermione
for
was
literally
not
anyone to
Dumbledore,
walk in. I know, but
So-
I mean, Dumbledore's dead, so she's like the new Dumbledore. In my opinion.
Oh, okay.
How did no one notice that Bella was pregnant? That's a big one. You're telling me that right before the Battle of Hogwarts that she's supposed to be pregnant?
Well, it was
She's-
saying that she had just had the. I would have to assume that she had just had this child right before they caught them at the Snatchers, like a couple of days before. I had just assumed. On the
And I don't know how magical babies work. Maybe they just spell it out in there. She doesn't actually have to go through the physical labor of
She
having
just-
a baby.
Oh, it's been 9
I
months.
mean, yeah, I would assume that's how it works in the wizarding world, and that's the only way I could see it happening. But also on the other end of that, I do not see Voldemort like going through the actions of having a baby. I don't see that. He wouldn't waste his time on it.
Voldemort was actually that he was in love with her. Like he had the he had the capacity to love. He knew how to love, but he lost it beforehand, and that's why like.
He
But
killed his entire
he didn't have
family.
he didn't have the capacity to hold love. He could have it, but he couldn't hold it, and that's because of the way how many pieces his soul was in.
He kind of
Like, his
treated
soul
her
was
like
so-
crap throughout the whole series. That it doesn't make sense to me that he all of a sudden would like stop treating this person like they're a piece of crap and like the most annoying thing in the world to him, and then like have a baby with him. Anyways, moving on.
Okay, the sink scene.
Okay, you know when they're in the bathroom and like they're going back in time and they're trying to get to the lake and Moaning Myrtle's like that sink leads down there, like all you have to do is go in the sink. It doesn't describe any of that, so I'm confused. Do they like, does it move like it did in the Chamber of Secrets? And why do all the sinks lead to like why isn't there
It's
like
Hogwarts. The staircases move.
next point?
Alright, how is the painting not an accurate portrayal of the person? I might be able to answer this for you. Dumbledore mentions that the painting is not an accurate portrayal of the person at the time because the portrait is like what the artist knew about the person in the painting. So when they put this magic in there, it's what they knew about that person. They're very tricky.
Well, that's unfortunate because imagine what Snape's painting is like. Basically, I thought he was the best. Dakota thought he wasn't. So leave a comment
mean,
below.
she's one of
Hashtag Team Snape.
Yeah, she is one of those people that hated Snape throughout the entirety of the series, and they find out one minor little detail.
That's not true. I really liked him because A, he
Played
was
by
being
Alan
played by
Rickman?
Alan
Yes.
Rickman.
Love
And
Alan
I
Rickman.
started liking him just before the Half-Blood Prince, and then because like that relationship had started, and then I got the extra details from Half-Blood Prince, that's when I started loving him.
So that's the difference between you and a lot of the fans who are like, oh my god, I'm gonna get the Always tattoo with the Deathly Hallows
Yeah.
in it. I'm like, why would you put Always with the Deathly Hallows symbol in it? Like, it's just
It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't apply right. True Harry Potter fans. Okay, our last question was, it's not even really a question, it's just an observation. The boys being stupid enough to try and save Cedric.
Falling back on time turners was kind of a weak point for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this does bring up, your first little thing here on regrets. And this is her quote, I sort of wish it was a book. That's the point though, it's not a book, it's a play.
I know. I would have been way more happy if JK would have just posted the story like a short synopsis on Pottermore. Anyways, moving on to best moments.
Well, the very first one, exclamation point, all caps, Snape. Severus Snape.
Dumbledore! And I know this was a ploy to make me emotionally invested in the play, but I did not even care. Like, I was just super excited.
I didn't care enough.
As cheesy as it was and how out of character he was, like, he really did say some...
really out of character. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I remember, reading part of it, and then I just see his name. And I did, they hear this voice, and he turns around and he's like, Professor Snape. Immediately, yeah, just, insert tears here. I think they put that as, a stage action.
I called my boyfriend, no, that's not true. He called me, and I'm in the middle of this scene, and it's like, Snape is saying, I'm proud he carries my name. And right as I read that line, David called me, and I answer the phone,
Hello.
Hello. David's like, are you sick? I was like, no. They mentioned Snape. It's not even Snape, like the character Snape that died. Like, again, back to the Alan Rickman thing, like, he deserves to play that character. And because it's like he's in this play and it's not going to be Alan Rickman, and Alan Rickman will never play that role again, like, that's what gets me.
I mean, Alan Rickman was such a good Snape, and on top of that, J.K. Rowling handpicked Alan Rickman. Like,
He was Snape. I was so sad.
Tears. Okay. Best moments, Dumbledore's I heart you.
He says, I love you to Harry.
Oh, he does.
And Harry says, I love you back, which is kind of emotional.
Everybody knew that Dumbledore loved Harry, though. Like, everyone
Questionably
knew
in a gay way, but it's fine.
that.
Still,
Yeah,
it's
that's
still
fine.
emotional.
It's still emotional.
Gets us.
It's still love. There's some of these things where I'm having to come back to because I've only read the book once. Unlike every other book, I read them like 2 times in a row before I did anything about them.
Yeah.
And
Same.
so...
But I've pondered this very thoroughly.
Yeah, see, I didn't ponder it as much because I kind of hated the book,
Yeah,
to be honest.
same.
But this one, whenever I read the last page or like the last chapter or the epilogue of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, I heard the names and I cringed a little bit.
Yeah. Dumbledore points out the weight of the name Albus Severus Potter.
It just doesn't have a ring to it either.
He basically kind of was like, you set him up for failure, dude. This is all your fault.
Yeah. I don't think the names were very well thought out. But like Rose, I like Hugo. Like that was
like Hugo.
that one's a little.
It's mostly
pretty
Harry's
cool.
baby's names. Though.
Yeah, Harry was just kind of a moron, and Ginny's not gonna be.
Yeah. One minor thing that I really enjoyed / hated because it started out bad and then got better was the Hermione thing. How when she didn't marry Ron, she became like basically another version of like Snape. She was super bitter and rude and blah blah blah. Hated that, but I really did like the scene where she becomes like the badass warrior because like that's what I imagine Hermione doing in an alternate universe. Like I don't know, when her and Ron don't get married, that's what I see happening. Like she.
What
would
are you
just be
saying?
like,
Ron holds her back?
Yeah. Because she'd be a strong, independent woman without him. That was one of my favorites. Anywho.
I think, honestly, my favorite part of the whole ordeal was just the irony of Harry's kid and Malfoy's kid being friends.
I really did like
no matter how creepy it was, like, and how creepy they made it in the script anyway, it was like that perfect amount of irony.
I really liked Scorpius's character as a whole. I feel like he was a good saving grace.
He was.
He was
a
witty.
very, yeah.
He was useful. He says things like as it is, like.
Whereas Albus was
kind of just like whiny and cried the whole time. And,
whiny, useless.
I don't like the augury. I still don't understand what that is. I know it represents like it's a negative thing, but I don't know what it is. I don't.
An augury?
Yeah. Augury. A sign of what will happen in the future. An omen.
It's among the darkest omens in our world. It's an omen of death.
Augury, also known as the Irish phoenix, is a thin and mournful looking bird, somewhat like a small underfed vulture in appearance, with greenish-black feathers and a sharp beak. It is also believed that the mournful cry of an augury foretold death, and wizards would go to great lengths to avoid augury nests.
So it's like the exact opposite of a phoenix.
Yes. Yeah, I just think that's, I don't know.
It's a ploy. It's all a ploy.
I don't know. Summarize.
I was so excited reading it. Like, as I was reading it, I was fucking ecstatic. But as I just, like, after I finished it, like, I was ecstatic the whole time reading it. Loved every bit of it. And then as soon as it was over, I realized what I had just read. And I was just like, that was terrible.
Yeah, same.
It was awful.
I kept, like, reading more, hoping that the end would make me feel better about everything that had already happened that, like, upset me. Like, I was kind of hoping that the end would help me get over it. But I didn't. Okay, we're gonna finish this up. Summarize your feelings in 3 words.
What a joke.
Wow. Could have been better.
What a joke. Could have been better. So we're both. It's on the
same page.
On the same page, on the less positive side.
Anyways, these are our feelings. Let us know if you feel the same. If there's anything we missed. Yeah. We will see you next time, or at least I will, maybe. I don't know, I haven't really stuck to this video game, so...
Video game.
YouTube game, online game.
She's a terrible vlogger.
I'm very bad. Okay, bye!
Bye.